What if I tell you there is nothing that has to be achieved in life? How do you feel hearing this? Is there anger? The majority of us is living only on the surface of their existence, like a wave on an ocean.
Excellent.
Everybody experiences it. You get lost in the details of what your mind tells you to reach, to finish, to avoid. And then there comes the awareness that you sacrifice something else, often much more valuable. Maybe you realize you lost the only time you and your loved ones had at this particular point in time and space, without any second chance. You start becoming awake. Most of your ambitions unmask themselves as simple distractions to keep your mind busy. And that is important to recognize. But why do you have the urge to keep your mind busy? I think you know. It might feel uncomfortable being alone with yourself, alone in silence. Solitude becomes loneliness, and yet your mind is still with you, endlessly talking and eating you up as you have never learned that you are the master of it and not the slave. It is an addiction to think all the time and to need distractions, as movies, parties, people, drugs or whatever, just to avoid being alone. The universe doesn't want to be alone. You are not the voice in your head. But as we live on the surface, nobody, not your parents, not your teachers or friends, will tell you. You have to find it out by yourself.
Talk Dino.
All this does not imply to have no ambitions at all or not to enjoy life. It is important to have a guideline for your life, to find a fulfilling purpose, and to truly experience all wonders of life. But it is also important to reflect on your thoughts and ambitions at the same time. Are they truly fulfilling myself? Are they originating from my true inner self? The thing that happens to you when you live a life that was not meant for you is called depression. Your true you, call it soul or whatever, is quiet, and the quiet gets overshadowed by the loud, your inner voices. Whenever you are depressed, sit with yourself and ask yourself the right questions. Tell your mind that it is not helping you right now. Recognize that you have to learn to live together as you are not separated from each other. That duality is an experience, not a fact. Do you remember when you were a child? The joy you felt with every flower, every insect, and every sun ray you have seen, touched, or felt? Do you remember the time when everything was magical? Where are those eyes now? As a child, we have to learn how to become an adult, and as an adult, we have to learn how to become a child again. It is part of the human experience. Just take some time to observe parents how they talk to their children. Every time a child stops to enjoy the wonders of the world, the parent will approach and tell them to come as they need to go on for some destination in the future, which shall be of more joy. What does a child learn from this? Does this mean the current moment is not full of wonders? And so, the next generation loses its eyes for the here and now and learns to be fully identified with its mind again, which tells them that happiness is in the future, never here and now. When you are ready, you won't need to keep your mind busy all the time. This is when you find back to your roots again, the child you once were. You feel the inner peace and the divine in your existence. You feel more and more comfortable with yourself.
Von der Höhe. Also, komm, liebe Bierblande. Hey, mehr auf, Männer. Weißt du, was mich das erinnert? An dem Video.
All the distractions of the first half of your life, all the ambitions that made your ego feel special and that in the end turned out to be misleading, become memories of inevitable experiences that were necessary, with all the extremes in it. Otherwise, you wouldn't get to know all of the traits that you possess.
Hat halt echt so.
The universe wouldn't get to know itself.
Mahlzeit? Ja, ganz genau. Nein.
The good and the bad, the happiness and the suffering, birth and death. The extremes of human duality made you feel alive. But in the second half of your life, it is okay to wake up. You don't have to, but you are allowed to.